Welcome back to Miami University Esports. I am Devin Tiny Bit Insane O'Connor,
And I'm Isaac Rhythm Arredondo.
and we are bringing you some League of Legends esports against the University of Washington tonight. Your Miami Redhawks are going up in this best of three. Should be an absolute banger. We're really excited. Both teams are looking very strong. We've got a revamped roster that we are going to be working with, and in this it's looking to be a great match.
Yeah, so in the top lane, we have Mikey J, a new top laner for us. In the jungle, we have HBTX, Quagert mid lane, NTSP the bot lane, with Beans as NTSP support.
Yeah, and some of those names might be familiar. Quagert, NTSP both played on the roster last semester, but we have some new additions. You may remember, it's hard to forget, Final Boss of Ohio was our top laner, unfortunately studying abroad right now, so you will not see him for a little bit. But we got some great, brand new roster changes, and we're really excited to bring you guys this new team, and we really hope that this is going to be a great series. We hope it goes to 3 games, and yeah, I mean, what are you looking for?
I'm excited for this top lane matchup. I know
Yeah,
we've seen Mikey J. He's good on the Jax. He's good on Garen. He's good on Tryndamere. He loves his carries. So I'm hoping that Miami is able to get Mikey J one of those carries and just see him split push, see him put some pressure on the mid lane into that jungle.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. What about you?
I mean, I'm looking at University of Washington's roster here. It looks, first of all, it looks stacked. They look like a very, very good team, well
Especially
put
that
together.
bot lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bot lane as well. I'm curious what the drafting priority is going to be here for Miami because obviously you have so many threats on that team. You have a mid laner who plays champions that are going to snowball, that are, you can't let get any momentum or they're just going to take over the game. So, you got to make sure that you deny some of these picks, like, things that come to mind that he plays are like the Hui,
The Twisted
Corki,
Fate. Yeah.
Twisted Fate. These are champs that give you huge amounts of priority on the map and snowball you into late game. So definitely gonna have my eyes on that and see if Miami can take out any of those really great options in draft. So hopefully they've done their homework.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I hope MU gets some good bans onto Washington. I don't expect to see any Leona gameplay today, unfortunately, but
We'll see what happens.
it
I
is what
mean,
it is.
yeah, there's no way of telling for now, but well, I mean, obviously, will both teams kind of use that first game to gain some info, gain some insight as to how the other one kind of plays and how to respond. So we'll see what they decide to do. Obviously, we want to hopefully go to 3 games, or we have a Miami 2-0. So we'll see
Right.
what happens. But yeah, so we are still getting into draft, but we will be right back when that is ready. Welcome back. We are still waiting on that draft. It shouldn't be very long. But I did want to talk about we did get confirmation that University of Washington will be playing or will be starting on the blue side.
Yep, and the Miami will be starting on that red side.
So yeah, I mean that does change up draft party. I imagine that they're going to prioritize maybe something like a mid pick
Hmm.
or maybe something for their support. We'll see what happens, but I think Miami is definitely going to have to be cognizant of that and make sure that they prepare their draft accordingly because not having that there's certain champions in the game, especially in these types of matches where they can take over the game. So
Hmm.
not having first pick is going to be something that is a bit difficult. But it looks like we are going to be hopping into draft here. Hi, and we got this brand new overlay. It's really amazing.
So it looks like that the University of Washington has banned out that Shaco, which is something that HBTX loves playing. Over 400 games on that last season.
Yeah.
They also have banned out the Karthus, while Miami University has banned out the Ash, which is something that Sabak likes playing a lot. But they've also banned out that Ari.
Yeah, Ari, a really strong band, gives a lot of mobility in team fights, and Ash, with the hawk shot, the utility that it gives in lane, and then just the general pushing power is very strong. But it seems like University of Washington's really prioritizing getting those bands out towards the jungle of Miami, which I think is a smart
Yeah.
decision. You gain a lot of power from having these. Especially I'm looking at the Shaco can be everywhere on the
Hmm.
map. I mean, when I'm against someone who plays that champion, I always want it banned. So yeah, I think we and then obviously the Karthus ban Requiem gives you a lot of pressure on the
Right.
map, can turn the tide of a lot of skirmishes without even having to be nearby. So
But it
another
looks
good
like
one.
they're targeting HBTX right now,
Yeah, for
which
sure.
I hope that we can still see something good.
I'm
I
sure I'm
mean,
sure he'll find something that
in
he could pull
scrims, I
out.
saw
Yeah.
him lock in the Xin Zhao, which he looked pretty good on that.
Yeah,
But
we'll see.
we'll see
We don't
we'll
want
see
to
what
leak
comes
too
through.
much about our
Yeah,
playbook.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we are going to see the Syndra being locked in for University of Washington. A strong pick right now with the recent Storm Surge buffs as a pick that's really gone up in priority. And we do see the Jin and Oriana locked in response. Quagert's Oriana can personally testify this is a fantastic pick for him, and Jin a really strong pick as well. We were talking about some of that utility that the Ash offers.
Looks
Um,
like
yeah.
Washington's going to prioritize that Kaisa for the bot lane. Strong pick right now. I mean, the plasma stacks and the killer instinct, the Icathian rain, those are some strong moves.
Yeah, I think the Kaisa is a really great response to the Jin.
Hmm.
Kind of gives you some ability, and you can kind of dash around those team fights. You definitely want to pair it with something that is going to have some solid, consistent engage. Great pick for the jungle, the Rek'Sai. Oh, but they are going to prioritize the Nautilus. Smart move, just to make sure that um, engage support pool would not be thinned out after the next round of bans. So they are going to secure their bot lane duo.
Yeah, something I want to see Miami here is do right now is lock in their support as well, just to so we can see how the lanes are shaking up right now. But it does look like that the University of Washington did ban out that Jax for Mikey J. That was his most played, and Miami University rather banned out that Hui.
Yeah, it is going to be the Luna locked in for Beans. Not a huge surprise here. One of her most played picks. Um, Very strong pick right now in the meta. Similar to the Nautilus, you got some very good lockdown CC, helps you control a fight, and some good beefy frontline. So we're gonna hop into our second
Yeah,
round of
Miami
bans.
University is going to ban out that Graves, and while we wait to see what University of Washington bans out, I just want to talk about these bot lanes real quick.
Hmm.
I mean, that Leona is going to want to go in level 2, same with that Nautilus.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to be careful. I think early fights it's going to be difficult because with that passive, that Kaisa is going to
Hmm.
be a bit scary in lane. But right now, I think the name of the game is just going to be to scale up for the side of University of Washington because this Syndra is going to be a monster. You get the Splinters of Wrath, you're
Hmm.
trading in lane, and eventually the buffs are really just going to be a bit overwhelming. So you want to see strong team fights from the side of Miami. For as much as you can because you're really going to prioritize early game objectives when that Syndra isn't going to be as much of a threat and make sure that goes your way.
Right, and it looks like that University of Washington is going to ban out a brand, another band going towards HBTX in that jungle, but Miami will respond with the Ivern ban.
Yeah, smart. I think Ivern is such a annoying pick to go against. So really glad that we're not going to be seeing that one because those 2 item power spikes, especially with the redemption, gives you a lot of space to play around. That is the Evelyn being hovered. Evelyn, oh,
Oh, we're
whoa,
just
whoa, whoa.
cycling through jungles
We're
at this
just
point.
going crazy. Um,
University of Washington did ban out the Ornn, so we won't have that tank in the top lane.
So yeah, I'm a big fan of. I like Ord personally a lot. But it is going to be the Evelyn locked in for Miami University's jungle. Really strong pick, but not something you're seeing a lot of play
Hmm.
in competitive right now because you know if this champion relies a lot on the element of surprise with the
Right, right.
invisibility passive, and generally into teams that are a lot stronger, you have better vision control, better pink wards. That's going to deny a lot of the value of this champion.
And Washington's going to lock in that Rek'Sai, which does hurt that Evelyn quite a bit. Because
Yeah,
when Evelyn's hits level 6, is able to go invis, that Rek'Sai will be able to track Evelyn with that passive.
yeah, so it's a kind of this natural counter pick where you really don't have that same elusiveness that you would have into many other matchups, and that was a little bit questionable from the side of Miami to still lock in the Evelyn because the Rek'Sai was hovered earlier in the draft, so this isn't something that was completely uncalled for in terms of because they're already thinking of playing it, and I think is an Alawi lock in.
Yep,
Another champion is really annoying to play against. It's good into a lot of what Mikey J plays as well
right.
on the side of Miami. So a strong pick. Going to give you some good uh, team.
Ooh.
Wait a minute.
I don't
Hold
think that's
on.
going to go through.
You got
The
to give you
Mundo?
a
We could see
strong,
that happening.
a really strong team fight comp here from the side
And
of
it is going to
University of
be that
Washington.
Mundo for Mikey J in the top lane.
I like Mundo. Can kind of you know tank through a lot of what
Right.
Alawi offers in terms of poke, but it is not going to be an easy laning phase. It's still going to be something that you're going to just kind of have to wait it out. And honestly, as much as I hate to say it, I really like University of Washington's draft.
Yeah,
They have a really great identity and what they want to do in team fights. They've got a great dive comp.
right.
And then they have that Syndra for late game insurance, just farm up and you're just going to take over the game. Miami's comp is good. They have good parts of it. I'm looking at the Oriana, I'm looking at the Jin, but honestly, I mean, with the Rek'Sai into the Evelyn, like you mentioned, it is going to be a bit difficult
Right.
to have that same value that you would derive from her passive.
And I'm a little scared about this Evelyn. I mean, if Evelyn can get ahead, she's going to be a threat to that Kai'Sa, threat to that Syndra.
Yeah,
But if she's not able to, if she gets really behind, it's going to be kind of a tough game for HBTX.
for sure. I think that Miami, I mean, they're taking a gamble. They have picks that can work for sure, but it is not the same type of linear, safe
Right.
scaling that you would get from the comp of like University of Washington. So I think Miami, really going to have to play their best, show what they're made of, and we're going to prove ourselves, hopefully. And
Right.
it's going to be a great series. So we will be right back for you when the game starts. Welcome back. We are just about to hop in game, but we were just talking about the Oriana. It was something that we were was really coming to mind because you have that shockwave and it's such a devastating ability in team fights. But we're looking at the side of Miami here, and we're curious, like you have the Leona, but where's the follow up going to come from, and where's the initiation itself going to come from? Like, what is the efficient delivery system for that
Right,
ball to
right.
engage the shockwave? I'm confident that Miami can pull something off, and I think Quagert's an insane player. Um, so I think that this is definitely something that still has signs of life, and they could totally Smurf. But it does make me a bit worried. But I do think that there is weaknesses in University of Washington's comp as well. Alawi, despite being very strong, if she's put behind, she's not going to be like Mundo, where she just kind of
Mhm.
scales up. That champion just falls off a cliff. So you need, she is kind of a lane bully, a bruiser, can 1v2 in the right conditions when ganked. But if that champion is put any kind of behind
Right.
significantly in the game, it's just really not. It's really tough to find an angle back in.
I'm looking to see Miami University play through this bot lane. You
Yeah,
wanna get that Jhin ahead early
yeah.
because once he gets his items, the static shiv, if he goes that route, the collector, if he goes that route, it's gonna be a lot of damage output coming in, especially with that 4th shot could just absolutely delete the Kai'Sa from the
Yeah,
map.
I think you need that because I'm trying to think what other follow up you'd have on like something like an engage, on the shockwave, and you need
Right.
Jin to have this goal, to have these items, because in order to have the damage output necessary, you're looking at your other players, and it's going to be tough to have the layering of damage that
Mhm.
you need in these team fights in order to make this comp truly work.
Yeah,
So
what I'm seeing from Miami right now is you Orianna Shockwave, you stack the Solar Flare from the Leona right after it, and then you Evelyn ult, and then
yeah.
that's
Yes,
the
that's
big
that's
burst of
kind of like,
damage you
yeah, it's what
have.
you got, and then maybe you get a Jin ult, but it really just depends. I mean, you have to get someone, or
Right.
the comp just kind of falls apart. You put everything you have in your tank out, and you need to get picks. And so I'm really looking. This early game is going to be pivotal for Miami to make sure that they get ahead enough, or to get into a point where they can really make this comp work.
Right, and then looking on the side of Washington, they have a great dive comp. You have the Nautilus who can hook under tower. You have Rek'Sai who can just go in under, knock up, burrow out of there. And the Alawi is going to have a lot of healing if they can get the Spirit Steal.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that you have some kind of Grievous application on the side of Miami. And right now, I mean, outside of like, a Thorn Mail or something like that, it's going to be like, you have a lot of AP damage.
Hmm.
You need you could have it on Mundo as well, but it's going to be tough to justify, even though it's really important to justify maybe building an Oblivion Orb or
Right,
something
right.
like that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep an eye on that because the healing is pretty immense. Rek'Sai has healing
Hmm.
in her kit. In terms of that, I think that is something you're definitely gonna be mindful of, because Alawi, I've seen her go into fights and just basically almost be one shot and then
Right.
immediately heal her entire HP bar, because she gets healing off of the damage that she does with her tentacles. And one good R with
Oh,
enough
one
procs
good
is just,
arc
it
just
could turn the whole
obliterate a
fight.
team.
Yeah,
Right.
a whole team. So and you really got to be mindful of like a TP flank with
Yep.
something like Alawi, where she has good positioning in a fight. It's just curtains. So
Yeah. This
yeah.
Rek'Sai too can get some tricky ganks off going under walls. So
Hmm.
Miami's going to have to get creative with some of their ward placement. But I mean, same with Washington. I mean, you never
Yeah.
know where this Evelyn's going to be. So it's important that once she hits 6, they get those control wards down and are looking out for her.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the difference maker here. I mean, and that generally in League of Legends, that is really what separates a really good team from an amazing team,
Right.
is vision placement and efficiency with your warding, because that is such a huge part. Is information. This whole game is it's just simply about tracking your enemy and seeing what they're doing.
Hmm.
We are having some issues getting into the game, so we will take a small break, but we will be right back. Difficulties. If you're still sticking around with us, we appreciate it. Yeah, we are hopping in mid-game, or I guess towards the end of the
Yeah,
game.
we're 32 minutes in right now.
Hopefully not. Looks like University of Washington has accumulated a pretty substantial gold lead, mostly through the jungle and ADC, but nearly every lane seems to be winning. Uh, yeah, I imagine that a lot of this probably came on the back of the jungle. It seems like a lot of very high KP.
Yeah, it looks like Washington got 5 of those grubs, which really helps with taking down turrets, and they also got 2 mountain dragons, which will help with some of the durability of their players.
Yeah, it's looking like a really tough game state. We're talking a lot about vision control, and right now, Miami's doing the best they can to zone University of Washington off of this Baron pit.
Yeah, they're looking for a Baron angle right now.
It's
That's
kind of
quite apparent.
kind of a desperation play. I mean, if we look at the overall gold leads, I'm seeing
Looks
it
like
properly
Kaisa
now.
has a little bit more than the Chin. The Syndra has a little bit more than the
A,
Orianna.
a little is a bit of an understatement. Yeah.
Looks like Alau's going to get that E onto Mikey J. Going to slow him a little bit. Those tentacles are going to be spawning near him.
Yeah, the Kaisa poke with the W. She's got all her items online that she needs to get those resets in, and it's just a really tough game state to play out. You know, you're not getting a lot of value from the, let's say, the Heartsteel.
Like all summoners are available for everyone on the Rift right now too. It looks like they're engaging onto Mikey J, but he's just going to be able to run away.
Taking crazy amounts of poke from this Kaisa, just keeps getting those W's off.
Yeah, that Void Seeker is fully evolved with the Nashor's Tooth and the Ginsu's Rage Blade, so those are going to be hurting once they connect.
Yeah, and it seems like Miami really hasn't gotten any kind of footing in this game in terms of especially in the top lane. Seems like there's a big disparity there. Farms, well, it's kind of relatively even in most lanes. They say the exception of like mid. It just seems like it's a disastrous game state, because from this point on, I don't really see Miami having. We talked about this a while earlier before the break. Just having the damage in order to execute these team fights, and really they just get harassed. by this Kaisa. And really, I mean, it's just going to be a matter of
The Evelyn's going to find somebody down on the bottom, but they're going to engage. The Deadly Flourish comes out, stuns up the Solar Flare, and they take down the Alawi. Kill going down over to Quagert. Wow. Mikey J's getting a little in over his head, diving under the tower, taking those turret shots. HBTX is going to get the stun on to the Nautilus, and he's going to go down as well. Great
wow.
fight for Miami University.
Yeah, the Mundo ult keeping Mikey J healthy under that tower really coming in huge there. Interesting play from the Alawi, kind of running into the whole team solo, but sometimes those things happen.
Looks like Miami is going to prioritize that dragon. Looks like Mundo has started it up, and they're clearing some wards around the pit.
And that is big. Oh,
The flash onto the chin. Deadly Flourish comes out, stuns him up, and they get the kill onto the Rek'Sai.
it looks like, I mean, just as we were talking all doom and gloom, University of Washington pull it back and Miami pull it back and are.
Looks like they're going to go for that Baron too.
Yeah,
with the jungler down
capitalizing.
for 37 more seconds. They do have the smite advantage with HBTX being up right now.
Yeah, Beans can take up this Baron, but the Void Seekers are going to be raining down while they're taking
It's
this.
a lot of damage onto
Yeah.
Quagert.
It might delay their take a little bit, but the jungler of University of Washington is still down, so the angle is good, and they have the damage to get it down, and that gives Miami a much-needed path back into this game.
Yeah, it looks like the Alawi's going to that bot lane, just going to push it out a little bit. But it looks like Miami University is going to reset here, buy some items, and they're going to be a lot stronger for this next fight coming up.
Yeah, I mean that is exactly what they needed, just kind of a breath of life. Came off some misplays of University of Washington, kind of a disjointed engage from several of the members.
The Kaisa has completed that Zonia's Hourglass, so for that next fight, she can go into that stasis, avoiding some CC, avoiding some damage. That's going to be huge, and
Yeah,
they better time it right or it could be disastrous.
I know. Yeah, because I mean, a big reason why that item is so strong too is, let's say you have like an angle where you're going in on your the ultimate of Kaisa. You have the killer instinct, and it's the timing is not good. Then you have that kind of ability to buy time for your team to follow up on you when you just don't get popped like a balloon. So it is a very strong item, gives you some ability to, peel yourself so you don't get blown up in those team fights. And you can just keep raining down this consistent damage. Seems like it's a lot of the value of this Kaisa is being derived from those Void Seekers right now, and just getting those damage numbers up. But Mundo is doing Mundo things, running into the team, not taking any
Curtain
damage.
call coming out. The shots going onto Cactus Chicken, onto that Alawi.
Not
Just
much.
raining some damage down. Not much going on, though. The dredge line's going to miss from Teacuppers.
Yeah, but we're seeing if we can get a wave here from the side of Miami. They're really trying to get this mid-tier 2 down. They want to get access to that inhibitor, really break the game open, because the more that you push with these Baron-empowered waves, the more you're going to have priority on the map to set up for, the upcoming Soul Point, and a Mountain Soul for either of these teams would be absolutely massive.
HBTX looking for a flank. They are going to take down the tower with the Demolish proc. Going to root up the Alawi there. Oh, and the Mundo goes down.
Yeah, it's looking pretty dicey
Evelyn
here.
running away. The smite slowing down. Dredge line, give it to Kaisa.
Yeah, and Miami just getting a little bit too overeager in that fight, forcing something, and HTPX was not able to exit in time, does end up getting caught along with Mikey J.
Yeah, and with that pushed bot wave, Alawi's going to teleport there and could look to take this tower as well, but it looks like Washington's just going to run it up the middle to take this inhibitor.
Yeah, and it looks like they aren't going to be able to, Miami is not really going to be able to contest this inhibitor take, which is going to really cost them, because now with those supers going into their base, and it looks like they're going to also opt to try maybe get this tier 2 down here.
Yeah,
Or, they
Alawi's
have it
bringing
already.
up the wave.
Yeah, and they might look for another inhib. Soul going to be
Soul,
pulled
yep.
back. That damage is crazy.
Beans is going to be slowed off the end of that soul being destroyed, but looks like they're just going to retreat, take what they can.
2
Don't wanna
inhibs.
overextend.
I would be pretty happy with that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's gonna, even with the enemy team having Baron, you're able to just, flip the script, be in their base, grab the 2 inhibs, and that's going to be huge for positioning for these upcoming dragons, Barons on the map, because you're going to need to commit at least one member of Miami squad to clearing out those supers as they push into the base. You don't want to drop any of your Nexus towers because as in a blink of an eye, you could lose a lot of your base.
Right.
Especially with two inhibitors at this point in the game, waves are going to be pushing. Kai'Sa has a lot of push power, so it's really up to Miami. They need to respond. They need to make something happen because while they do have this Ocean Soul on the line here, they're on Soul Point. Really, it's going to be kind of tough to find the angle with the positioning of the super minions.
Right, and that last Mountain Dragon's going to be up in 40 seconds, so I'd imagine that both these teams are going to fight for some vision and fight around that Dragon Pit because, I mean, that Mountain Drake's just going to be huge for either team, especially for Miami University.
Yeah, NTSP Bold here, stepping up a little bit to try and get some vision control, is going to be shielded by the Orianna. But it seems like
It's a battle of
University of
vision right now.
Washington,
HBTX on the bottom of your screen is looking for an angle onto the Kai'Sa.
he's got a good
I
flank.
don't know
Is
if
he
he's
going
going
to
to
be
commit.
spotted?
Beans is oversetting, misses the Zenith Blade.
That could be disastrous. A
Fight.
totally split fight here.
Knockup onto Beans and HBTX are just in the worst position possible, but it looks like they're trying to get something onto the Kai'Sa. Kai'Sa's going to take the Evelyn. The Rek'Sai is also going to go down in a huge fight breaking down in the pit. The Curtain Call is going to come out looking for something, but I can't imagine there's going to be much. The Mundo healing at the bottom of your screen. The Dredge line goes in. On the top, Koala stuns up NTSP. Doesn't get a kill though because he used that ult earlier, and they are maybe going to be able to. Koala goes down. Huge damage coming into Quagga. Kai'Sa's going to take the kill credit for that. And Miami University is just going to have to retreat.
Yeah, what started as a kind of a disastrous split fight for Miami actually got turned. Mikey J regenerating nearly all of his HP, and University of Washington on the back foot here going to try and look for the Drake, but Mikey J can contest.
That was just a positional nightmare for
Yeah,
both
I
of
know,
those
both teams. Oh, but we see them playing the bush.
They're in the bush. Mikey J's just going to walk up and face check. He's going to get some damage going on. Sabox is going to go down from the Mundo. They're just going to run down the Nautilus as well, and the Alawi is forced to take that Blast Cone and run away. Miami University is going to start up the straight.
Yeah, this could be Soul Point for them. The jungler of University of Washington is up and running as fast as he can to this objective to try and contest it. But can they get it down in time before he's not going to have a chance for a Smite Steal? This is Mountain Soul, excuse me, for Miami. That's one of the strongest souls that you can have now. And that is really going to help them in these really close. I mean, this has kind of been nice team fights. The positioning has been questionable from both teams. I'm not going to lie. As you saw, it was a very split fight. I honestly think if we just did a traditional front to back, University of Washington would win that. But I'm not complaining. Yeah, like I think
this is cinema, man.
Yeah, we're keeping Miami in the game. No joke. So
it looks like the gold lead has been cut down to only 400 for that University of Washington. Miami's really coming back into this game.
And Mundo is just a monster. So the game did cut out. But yeah, we are gonna take. We're gonna cut back to the casters. We got a bit of a spoiler there, but no, that was a crazy series of events. I'm curious as to how it ended.
Yeah, I saw that. The team fight that we just saw in the mid and the river, I saw the Syndra going up top, found Quagga, scattered their weak, used the ultimate there, and that's why they weren't able to find the kill onto or later down in the river. I forget who.
Yeah.
But.
So what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break. I'm just gonna confirm what just happened. I think the game ended. 90% sure. and we are going to go on a short break, and we'll be right back.
We are
because
so
I
back.
think we got it working. Don't let me jinx it, but I think we're in here. We got an Ari band coming through. We are Miami is blue side, right?
Yes,
Uh,
Miami did win the last game.
yeah.
Just to make
Update,
that clear, update: Miami
update.
did win.
Crazy, crazy stuff. Crazy ending. Bro, there was explosions. We didn't get to see any of it. So, no, Miami did win. Sorry, we can't show that. The Shaco band coming through, another strong band. Hui band, love to see it.
Yep, same with the Ari. Kind of the
Um,
similar bands to last game.
yeah,
We'll
last game was weird. We can't give you much info because we don't know much about what happened. We didn't even really get to see the scoreboard,
right.
but hopefully we we get some repeat performances. I mean, I don't know. It was looking pretty dire there for Miami. We are going to see the Karthus being banned out, another strong ban. It seems like they're opting to target the jungle again. I mean, it did seem to be pretty effective for them. They were significantly ahead, it
Mhm.
seemed, and then a series of misplays just seemed to cause them to lose control of that game when it mattered most. Because I imagine what really turned that game was the presence of having that
Right.
Mountain Soul. Like that,
Right.
that is such a powerful tool to have, especially into that comp where it's a huge poke comp. We saw so much damage coming through with the Kai'Sa Void Seekers, and that
Mhm.
just kind of the shield from the Mountain Soul just neutralizes any kind of chip damage that you'd be getting from that, and as well as the Syndra. So I think it really was the difference maker in those team fights. We saw NTSP playing a masterful game of Jin.
And
Um,
Washington decided to ban that Jhin because they don't
yeah,
wanna see that again.
so we are going to see that being banned away, and then that leaves open the Ash, which is another very strong pick.
Very strong
Similar
pick right
vein,
now.
in that a lot of utility, get slows, vision,
Mhm.
similar. It seems like that's a really prolific style of ADC right now.
The
So
global ult too with the enchanted crystal arrow
yeah,
could make a big play.
you
We
can
don't
impact some
know.
other lanes.
Yeah,
So we are going to see what University of Washington does decide to respond with. It is going to be the Jinx, another pick that we thought was going to be more priority, or higher priority recently. Hasn't seen a ton of play still. Can be very squishy in the team fights,
mhm.
but has the capability, if accelerated, to just take over. Similar, like Kaisa, but less consistent.
Yeah, and if
um,
Jinx is able to get an early kill in a team fight or a little skirmish like that, it'll just accelerate
yeah.
her in that fight, only making her
She can
stronger.
just take off. And then we got an arcane reference here. It looks like Jinx and Vi, the two sisters, are going to be locked in. Shout out to my mom who never finished, or I don't think she ever finished. I told her to watch it, and she just didn't finish it. So
I got 3 episodes in.
come on,
I
man, it's
know,
good
I
stuff.
know.
Oh my god, it literally got 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, ladies and gentlemen. So please watch it if you haven't. Season 2 on the way. I'm not paid by Riot, by the way. And we are going to see the Leona locked in. Glad to see Beans back on that. Very strong pick for her. Um, and it is good into the Vi, helps neutralize some of these things, or neutralize some of the engages. Um,
And that's a bot lane that I don't wanna be playing against.
oh
If
no,
if
that's a
I'm
cleanse
Washington,
bot lane.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're taking cleanse for sure,
that
and it
is a
looks like we might get a brand for HBTX. We know that he loves playing those AP carries,
yeah.
those strong, heavy clearing AP junglers, and
A-
so I'm
and with the
excited to
style,
see.
yeah, with the craziness of the team fights that we've been seeing,
Right.
I imagine that Brand is really going to thrive in that environment. Getting those procs of his passive and just
Mhm.
letting that damage stack, I think is really going to benefit him. We are going to see University of Washington opt back to go to the Syndra. Seemed pretty successful last game. Didn't really have that late game kryptonite effect that we were really imagining for it. Imagining, I think it'll just be it's just a stable pick that you can pick mid
Right.
lane. You're going to scale,
Right.
you're going to do damage, you have CC, but we didn't really see it pop off. So,
I'm interested to see
yeah.
if Miami is gonna opt to ban out that Nautilus, or to see if they allow teacuppers to have that.
I think I would let that through personally. I think despite the fact that Nautilus is, a very solid, consistent pick, I think that we were seeing a lot of dreadlines in the couple minutes or so that we did watch go wide, and it
Yeah.
really just seemed more like a liability despite the consistency. See.
Miami does indeed ban out that Nautilus. They don't want to fight against
I
that.
mean, I can only watch so much hooks be missed myself too, so
Right,
I would have
right.
to.
But
Um,
Washington did ban out Mikey J's Jax again. I'm surprised they didn't go for that in the first round of picks.
yeah, I know. I think that Jax is really consistent, but I also think that the Mundo was a huge reason
Right.
that they were able to pull off that almost like an upset. I call it an upset from what we watched last game because it just consistent healing in the team fights and they were very extended. He was able to utilize that huge health bar to just kind of take a lot of that damage and that punishment and just keep dishing out those consistent cleavers and has a lot of deceptive damage because of the percentage max health
Hmm.
that champion just gets so much AD.
And we
um,
are going to see a different mid lane here as the Oriana is banned out by Washington and the Rise is banned out by Miami University.
fun fact, Rise Top. That
Yes.
is a Rise Top. That
Cactus Chicken loves
yeah.
his Rise top.
Which I think incredibly based personally.
The
I
brand could be a really big pickup here too.
Oh yeah, no. So that
Or the
that
Braum,
Brom,
sorry.
yeah, Brom is amazing. Speaking of brand Brom, really great pick into the brand because you can just kind of neutralize almost this entire combo using your door effectively. But it really does depend on timing. We are seeing a Karma. I
They're
imagine that's going to be a mid
they're hovering
hovered
the
here.
karma, yeah.
A great utility pick, a little bit less like team fighty in terms of like the Oriana or
It is
something
gonna be
like that.
locked in.
Yeah, I mean I don't mind it. I think it's a great pick. Not seeing a ton of play right now. specifically in the mid position. But
It
great
could
to
go.
match the
It could
poke.
be top karma. We
Yeah,
don't know,
you
but
know,
I'd
no,
imagine
that's
this be mid. Yeah,
tank top karma.
Beans
Timo
hovering that
being lovered
Timo.
again, hovered again. Great new splash art. Great job on that to
I
those
do love the
designers, and they
visual
they are
rework.
just going to lock in that Mundo. Great,
Yeah,
I think a pretty safe blind into most of what University of Washington has showed and has showed in their match history. Um, just a kind of consistent uh, member of a team that can, despite being set behind early, can still have insane value in these late game team fights. So I really like, and I'm surprised that they opted to ban the Oriana or even the Jax.
and the Trundle's going to be locked in for the top lane for Cactus Chicken.
So this is a grubs game because
Yeah,
Jinx, Trundle, you're really gonna want to have to prioritize those because you can really get those turrets down quick. But Trundle, I'm a Trundle top enjoyer as well as the Mundo top enjoyer, and I think that Trundle is a very strong pick. Is going to might struggle a little bit into Mundo, honestly, just because Mundo can just kind of play safe, land those
hmm,
cleavers, just kind of play back. But Trundle gives a ton of pushing power in the side lanes. If you just sit there,
right.
you hit the tower, you hit your minions, you're going to be really strong and you can kind of take over these fights, especially if you ult really any member of Miami's roster. You can just kind of run in, and as long as you don't get focused down, I mean, the level of CC that Miami has is definitely going to help them in these team fights because you're really going to need a lot of tenacity to get through a Leona, a Karma, a Brand.
Right.
Like all these things are going to be at the detriment of University of Washington.
I
But I
really
think,
like the
yeah,
Braum pickup by Washington too, because with his passive stacks, you're going to be able to proc those with the Jinx, with the Trundle, and with the Vi,
yeah,
and you could
it's
get those 4 hits really, really quickly.
yeah, a lot of attack speed in order to derive a really good amount of value. And I think the door is also big too. What do you think about that?
Say it again.
The door of Braum, his E.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
gonna be able to stop those karma Qs from coming in.
Yeah,
It's
the
gonna
brand.
you can eat the
The
the the
brand
E's
ult.
from the
Yeah.
Leona. Yeah,
No, I think that'll provide a lot of value, a lot of disengage in lane because you think about Jinx and you're kind of worried that she can get, especially by a lane like this, can be really caught off guard, punished.
hmm,
Generally, I think that I like with Jinx like something like a Lulu. But Braum is a fantastic pick as well because it offers a great amount of peel, great amount of disengage, and that's really going to help the Jinx get as much damage as possible out in these fights.
right. And I think the Braum slows, the knockups, those are gonna be huge in those team fights. For like you said, peeling off that Jinx. I mean, even for engaging too.
Hmm.
I mean, you could flash ult, knock everyone up, and just win the fight right there. So
Exactly. Yeah. No, it's really up to reaction time and who's just going to use their hands better. So we are super excited. Hopefully, Miami is able to close this one out. But I'm not complaining for a 3-game series. I'm in it for the long haul. All right. So we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back. Hopefully, no technical difficulties
yeah.
this time. But we'll see you soon. Jinxed it. We totally had technical difficulties. Miami starting off with a 2-0 lead here, though. Love to see it.
Those 2 kills going onto the Mundo into the top lane on that Trundle, both of them being solo kills.
Wow.
A little bit of trading happening in the bot lane. The Bromky's going to come out. Auto's going on. The Zenith Blade going to come in. The Cleanse being popped. The Ashe is just going to auto. And they're just going to back off.
Yeah, not much. I mean, negative health trade for the side of Miami, but they still got the pressure in this lane. They're still shoving it in. And Jinx having to utilize the cleanse there, and NTSP still has the barrier up. So for these extended trades where it's going to get really close, definitely favoring Miami here. And Mundo getting ahead early is something you don't normally see, but especially into a Trundle, I imagine, well, it looks like, yeah, both of them were solo kills. No participation from any of
The ult
other
going to be
members.
popped by the Jinx. W just going to back off again.
Yeah, Braum kind of, like I said, neutralizing any kind of counterplay from that. So she's just going to get the ult down. Not really a lot of punishment there. Trundle moving to look for something maybe perhaps mid here.
Yeah, potential look on this Karma, but the wave isn't in a great spot for a game.
Yeah, the QE gonna go wide, so not really in any position to make anything happen. But we do see Miami's bot lane having to give up a lot of this wave. And the Jinx gonna get
plate.
yeah, the Jinx is gonna be hitting the plate. So not a great position, but honestly, for the win that you're getting based on the not amazing rotation that we could get a brand
down here by the brand.
Yeah, not gonna turn into much though.
Ooh. Looks like Mundo's fighting the Trundle top lane. It's going to be popping the ult, healing up a bunch of damage.
And it was like he never took any damage in the first place. he's just fine. And honestly, I think Trundle's going to really struggle to get you back into this game. But we
Trundle
do
with
see
a chomp, a couple autos, nothing too much happening there. Typical top lane behavior.
Yeah, so we do see some trading here. Trundle without that Bork online really isn't going to be able to win in these extended trades, but Muno's just going to naturally heal up and scale. But you see Vi flash engage from the Braum. The cease and desist does go under the tower, but we do see the
Brand
burning them down, and it looks like Jinx is going to fall. And we trade ADC for ADC and support, so it's a positive trade for Miami.
Cactus Chicken just going to be laying down a couple autos, chomping Mikey J just to end that trade off, and he's just going to have to retreat and heal up a little bit.
Yeah, and Mikey J does have the TP. HBTTX is going to be able to catch the wave here in the bot lane, but Trundle is going to get back in the game, so to say, with those tower platings. It's going to be huge.
The Super Mega Death Rocket does find Mikey J
at the very end of his recall. That is really unlucky.
That is unfortunate timing for Mikey J right there.
Really well played. I mean, Jinx knew exactly where he was recalling, just sent it across the map, and it was able to get there in time. That's really big. That's going to help. I mean, the Jinx is already up CS, and it looks like, just shy of another solo kill there in mid. And Miami, despite that really positive play in the bot side, he's going to lose Drake, and it's not looking great.
Yeah, we have a couple buys coming through, too. We see Brand has that Rylai Scepter, so that's going to be huge slows whenever they lay down an attack. And Ashe has completed those Berserker's Greaves, so those attacks are going to come in really quickly from her.
Yeah, more Mercury Treads value here. And it just looks like you know, despite Miami being ahead, a lot of the lanes are taking pretty negative CS trades in terms of, like, we see Jinx is up and Syndra is up, and it's pretty even in top lane still. We do see them just smacking each other.
Cactus Chicken does have that Vamp Scepter, so is healing a lot more than that Mundo can. HBTX isn't in a great position near those grubs. It's just going to have to run away.
Yeah, we do still see them
scuffling going to roam up to the top lane. Zenith Blade goes down onto the Jinx. The cleanse is popped. Ashe is going to be firing down those arrows. The Jinx spacing back. Gets the Braum passive onto the Leona.
Super Mega Death Rocket is going to be sidestepped.
And it's just going to back
Miami's
off again.
Opting into these grubs here. Like we said, these are something that you really want to prioritize given the enemy team comp. They can really just kind of burst down a lot of these towers if they have any kind of grubs on the table. Positive play there for Miami in the bot lane. Really not going to amount to much, but the Super Mega Death Rocket does go wide, and they're able to get this wave in.
Mikey J just farming up under tower here a little bit. But do note that the Jinx has just finished that collector, so
Yeah.
that could be huge gold coming in the way if they can find some kills onto that
Yeah,
Jinx.
collector an important item, but I think that it is also a bit risky because you have to assume that you're going to be using it to get ahead. Vi with the
Stun,
cease and
scatter the
desist in
weak,
mid lane, scatter the weak,
the flash
not going to be
bot by
able to
Quagger.
find the kill there. Yeah, Quagert um, playing it risky, but is able to back, and then HBTX is going to be happy to clean up that wave. Really, you see him kind of there a little bit later on the plays, but able to neutralize any kind of tower hitting, making sure that they don't really able to stabilize the wave state and make sure that they don't
Xenoblade
capitalize
is
on
going to
it.
find a way onto the Braum. The Chomper is going to miss, but do keep in mind that the Mundo has completed that Warmog's armor up on the top lane. So even if he gets a negative trade, he can just walk away under tower and heal up. But it does look like Cactus Chicken is going to engage a little bit. Pops the Ghost, is going to run that down. We'll see if Mikey J can get out of here. And it looks like he's just going to walk back under tower.
Yeah, crucially, Mikey J did not get the Gray Health proc from the Mundo W, but we do see HBTX coming in for the lane gank here, or the gank, and he is going
Mundo's
to get
just
it
going to pop
down.
the ult and heal up more. The Bone Saw coming through. Stun up onto Cactus Chicken.
And it looks like this might be the end for Trundle unless he can pull off a miracle. And
That's a kill going
HBTX
down.
is going to get the kill, but we do see a scuffle here in the bot lane, and NTSB is taken down, and it looks like Beans is about to follow, and not able to pick up that Jinx there.
There's a lot of gold going onto that Jinx, especially with the Collector providing her a little bit more of those funds.
Yeah, and really able to help her secure both kills there. It's very important. It's really necessary that you want to get all the gold you can as early as you can to accelerate the growth of this Jinx, because if she gets any kind of ahead, is just going to be able to take over the game. We did see that play well executed there from HBTX in the top side, but really, University of Washington is extremely happy to take that, because not only does the jungler of Washington get a nice invade off there, but they have that great trade in bot side where, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a trade. It was just more like a massacre.
Right, and after that play happened, they were able to grab 2 of those turret platings, providing Jinx with even more gold. And as she back, she's able to complete those Berserker Greaves and grab another serrated dirt.
Yeah, she's got a bounty. Looking to opt more, it seems like, into the lethality vein of the Jinx. Seems to be a little bit more, it's prevalent now. So we do see, the Karma will still provide value. It seems like it's a pretty even state there. Bit of a CS lead, as we saw earlier.
And there's
Trundle looking to
Trundle
take
doing
the tier
Trundle
1.
things.
Yeah, like we said, despite being put behind pretty significantly in this game, is able to provide value in terms of tower taking and the side laning. So
he's going to hit, getting those passive stocks. The Leona is going to get stunned up, but with the Mundo roaming down along with the Brand, Solar Flare comes
look
down,
at the
stunning
CC.
up the Jinx. Arrows just going to be rained into her, but she is going to flash over the wall, get away. HBTX on the other side is going to find a kill onto the Syndra.
And a beautiful flash, but I mean,
Going back in
face
the
check
knockup.
though.
Oh, that's not what
HBTX
you want
walking
to see.
straight into a bush with no vision.
Xenoblade
Leona,
going over the wall. Mundo's just going to walk and flash it over the wall. Not Heartsteel Fox, sorry. Bone Saw, but isn't going to find the kill.
Braum denying any kind of follow-up there. But meanwhile, Trundle's just pushing top. He's going to get 700 gold from that inner. And that was a good play. I mean, well, arguably. I mean, there was some misplays there from Brand. The Drake is up. Seems like no one's really going to go for that. I think that, Miami should have seized on that opportunity to get that.
But that's kind of what we were saying earlier with the Trundle, how even if he's getting put behind, as long as he builds those items, he just gets a bunch of attack speed and is able to melt those turrets like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, I mean, this is how I climbed as Trundle. Literally provide nothing to the team and go 0-3 and then still win, because, you're better at using your positioning inside lane to really capitalize on your champion's kit. And this is without, I mean, I think they don't have a single grub. Miami has 6 grubs, and Trundle's still able to make such a dent in the wallets. And Herald is going to be picked up for Miami with those grubs. It is really going to make a big difference.
Miami starting up that Infernal Drake, seeing if they can get a little bit extra damage for their side.
Sorry, the Herald was picked up by University of Washington. Miami is going to pick up the Dragon. Will be the second of the
Looks like
game.
they're going for like the Super Mega Death Rocket comes in, the cube from the Vi doesn't hit, but the Seize and Desist comes through. They stun up the Vi. and are able to find a kill onto her. The solar flare on the top of your screen misses, or rather it hit, but the Jinx decided to cleanse away.
Yeah, Trundle's still putting in work in the top lane, but you know, the Vi deciding to go incredibly deep there, and it was a bit of a negative play there.
Yeah, and with Ashe going on that recall, is able to complete the Blade of the Ruin King, which is a huge power spike for her, since she'll be able to follow up on those autos a lot faster. Nike J able to take the turret with the Demolish.
You see a TP here.
Is just
Uh,
going to try and walk away.
yeah, I think I think he might be cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
He
Yeah,
might be cooked
I
too.
think yeah, with this pillar here,
The
I
ult
think
coming out from the
Syndra's.
Trundle. He's just going to walk up auto. The
Oh,
Ghost popped by the Trundle.
maybe I spoke too soon.
Auto,
Can he
auto,
walk it off?
chomp, auto, Trundle doing Trundle things. With the ult from Mikey J, is able to just walk under tower and walk away.
If ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know a lot about this champion that he's playing, Dr. Mundo, that is a great encapsulation of what that champion does. You just kind of ignore other people and just do what you want. And it looks like, oh, he
Chicken
may
was
have found
going to
an
find for the
angle.
Demolish proc, isn't going to get it. Mikey J is just going to run him down.
And that is a solo kill. Like, that was a little bit of an overextension. I think that,
from Cactus Chicken.
yeah, Cactus Chicken got a little bit cocky, having taken those turrets and just walked at him in the past. But really, he had nothing left in the tank. He didn't have his ultimate and was just caught lacking.
Yeah, and that entire time, Ashe is on the top side, just pushing out that wave, and is going to back and have a huge buy because of that.
Yeah, it is going to be pretty positive. I mean, not going to be a ton of gold, just considering that he did just opt into buying the Bork, and that was pretty recent. Jinx has been matching that farm in the mid lane, and things are starting to stabilize for Miami, but I think that it really just depends. Miami is still sitting on a pretty comfortable gold lead, but we're going to have to see. I do believe that University of Washington, despite the Mundo and everything, this Jinx is still going to be a nightmare.
The Mundo does have his heart steel now too, so some of those autos every so often are going to be just a big chunk of damage. Bean's getting a little bit of damage from that Syndra going on. Is going to pop the solar flare. Nothing's going to come of it, but we have another trade between this Mundo and this Trundle on the bot lane. Just going to slap him around. Cactus Chicken does have that sheen, so his Qs are going to be doing a little bit more damage than they were previously.
Yeah, and Miami giving up a lot of prio and vision here on the top side. Really can't contest while their Mundo is in side lane, and it looks like there might be somewhat of a scuffle. Yeah,
Super Mega Death Rocket is going to come in and find Quagger, is going to drop a little bit. HBTX, though, huge ultimate onto the team, is going to find the kill onto the Syndra.
HBTX getting his full combo off there, huge damage, and they're chasing, but the Braum with the disengage and the ult, I don't know if they're going to be able to catch them. So it is going to just be a one kill for Miami. Still, a strong play. It seems like University of Washington tends to overextend a bit when they're going for these picks. So Miami seems to be able to capitalize that. HBTX, great use of the ultimate there to get the stacks up and just get the passive proc, and it was what they needed. And it looks like Mundo, again, we're just here, a battle in the side lane pushing.
Miami looks like they're trying to siege down that the outer mid lane turret, but aren't going to find it just yet. Mikey J is going to get some huge autos down onto Cactus Chicken.
Mikey J has to play a little bit careful.
These are going to find the Q onto Quagger. The jump broke the armor. The solar flare comes down. Quagger's running away. Not going to survive. The autos coming in from the Ashe are going to be a huge amount of damage onto the Vi. Is able to take down the Braum, but now that Syndra and the Jinx are here, it might get a little dicey. The Jinx gets excited from taking down the Ashe, is going to find the Zap onto the Leona. She's just going to have to run away, but I don't see her making it out of that one. It's a double kill for the Jinx.
Yeah, and then Miami just caught lacking on their backs. They are going to be kind of exposed there, and the Jinx able to totally capitalize. It looked like a pretty positive play for Miami, but then Jinx was there.
Once the Jinx and the Syndra found their way down, it was kind of curtains
to the rescue. And HBTX is going to neutralize a bit of this pushing power with his
huge zap onto the Brand.
Yeah, with his doing Brand things is going to neutralize a bit of that push. Yeah, he's been doing pretty much all game. The Herald is going to be spawned, I believe, in their base.
In the base,
yeah. So maybe it'll take a little bit of a hike to walk down. Not going to get a ton of use out of that. It's trodden down bot lane.
Odd choice.
Well, I mean, it's sometimes with the timing you forget that you have it, and it just kind of pops out. But
Kentech Drake does look like it's going to be on the map here in just a second.
Early vision set up for the side of University of Washington. They got the control ward down in the bush. That's going to be crucial. Beans is
Trundle has
to
hopped down
out.
into the Herald and did take that bot lane tower. Mikey J They're going to do their little scuffle again. The Heart Steel proc.
Looking like Miami has first move on this drag.
The ult coming in from the
um,
Braum. This Chomper's coming down for the Jinx. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow going wide. Jinx able to just throw some autos down onto Teacuppers. The Solar Flare hitting Koala and Sabak. Looks like they're just going to... The Quaker gets the root onto the Zenith Blade to follow up too, onto the Jinx. They aren't able to have the damage to find the kill yet. HBTX comes in on the back line, is able to find the kill on the Jinx, onto the
here's
Braum.
Trundle. He's here to see if he can clean it up.
Syndra, Scatter the Weak, is able to stun up the Ashe and get the kill. Quagger and HBTX aren't in the best position in the world. Jinx is going to dash in. The teleport coming in from the Mundo following it. HBTX is going to go down from that Trundle. The stun is going to go onto that Karma, and Trundle's going to find the double kill.
And Mundo here too late. Trundle first to move to the fight and totally shifts it. Miami does pick up the drag, but it's disastrous. They lose so many of their team members. Trundle just walking in and cleaning up.
Those Scatter the Weeks from Koala were huge in that last fight.
Yeah, and you know, HBTX had phenomenal positioning that fight. Great flank, but was able to just kind of be... He lasted a pretty long time, but, you know, eventually when the Trundle came in, he didn't have that many options. And I'm just... leaves me scratching my head. Where was Mikey J?
Right.
Like, that was an important, you know, kind of a test to see, are we going to have our top laner in these fights? And, you know, side lanes are great, but Trundle was there and Mikey J wasn't. We are going to see the Bramble being picked up. Really big.
It's a really big buy by the Mundo. It's going to be able to reduce some of the healing that Trundle's going to be having. But I can also see that the Phantom Dancer was completed for NTSP's Ashe.
And the opportunity for the Jinx is going to even help compound the excitement here. Another scuffle, but I'm not too excited seeing these anymore.
Yeah, Mikey J is just going to run him down with the Bone Saw. You can see that Cactus Chicken isn't healing as much as he was. That's because of the Grievous Wounds from the Bramble. But it looks like maybe Cactus Chicken, they're just going to auto it out. Mikey J is going to run away, pops the
just has to wait for his
Scatter the Weak comes through. Zap, Super Mega Death Rocket. CC Chain is going to find HBTX. Solar Flare comes down. They are going to find the kill onto Dewan to return it.
Look at the opportunity move speed here. Mikey J watching top laner POV as his team just gets destroyed under their own mid tower.
I'm just wondering why Mikey J isn't coming down into this fight.
Well, I mean, he had no TP up in that instance, so he couldn't. I mean, he kind of wasted it last team fight. So not much he could do there except watch. I thought he had a solo kill angle there on the Trundle, but you know, things happen.
It's just a top lane island.
Yeah, I mean, now it seems like University of Washington are starting to, you know, get things together on the map and, you know, had a phenomenal play. But it is going to be a Baron rush here on Vision, it seems.
But Cactus Chicken is going to be able to spot them out. We'll see if Mikey J turns a little bit. Is going to hit Cactus Chicken with one of the Bone Saws, with another one, but it looks like they're just going to retreat and take what
get
they
off
can.
the Baron. Cactus Chicken did his job, kind of scared him off there, and just kind of seemed a little fake from Miami, the desperation play. Maybe try and bait some of the TPs or anything like that, but there's nothing up. So, yeah, I mean, it really isn't. I think he may have gotten the Syndra TP. I'm not entirely sure, but really, Miami just kind of waiting it out, and you know, you don't necessarily want to do that into a Jinx. It's only going to get stronger.
Right, and the Chemtech Drake is going to be up in the next minute-ish, so I expect them to try to get some vision down here early. Yeah, maybe clear some out and play around that Drake.
It is a Chemtech Soul, which is pretty massive for Mundo, but you know, in regards to extended team fights, a lot of Miami's members are pretty squishy, so it's not going to be the greatest Soul that you could have asked for. In fact, most people consider Chemtech to be the worst. I would agree.
Sap's going to hit onto Mikey J. I don't know if they want to follow this up, but it looks like they're just going to run away and clear some vision.
Yeah, they're still kind of teasing on this Baron here. Not entirely sure if they want to commit to that, because that could be a make or break for the entire game. Big Raptor is going to be smited away. Smite used, but I think he still has another charge.
They do see Trundle on the top lane too. He's just playing around a little bit, waiting for that next wave to come in.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow on the mid lane. See if they can follow up.
The Solar Flare comes down to follow it up. NTSP is just going to slam some autos down. As CC Chain is going to be able to
follow. This could be the angle that they are looking for.
Zenith Blade goes on to the Braum.
not throwing a
Not too
cleaver.
much follow-up.
I think I mean, if they're decisive, they can go either opt, but the
They
Trundle
gotta
is
deal with this
hooking.
Trundle.
Yeah, the Karma's not going to be able to stop him.
No.
Just doesn't have the
With the
ability.
Imperial Mandate and the Malignance, I don't think there's much that Karma's going to be able to do,
And that,
especially with all that healing. And there he goes. Cactus Chicken just going to be autoing and chomping, doing what he does best. Quager's going to have to flash. He pops the Ghost and the ult, and is going to be able to find the kill. Mikey J here just going to chase him off, and Cactus Chicken is fast enough where he can just run
yeah, I
away.
mean, and walking into melee range into a Trundle as a Karma, not, I mean, has me a bit confused. Miami is going to be picking up the Kemte Drake as, you know,
We were just
somewhat
talking
of
about
a,
earlier,
yeah,
yeah.
somewhat of a, you know, a little bit of a reward, but Cactus Chicken is just going to start soloing the Baron like a Giga Chad.
And it
And
looks like they're
really,
all rotating up to get onto this Baron. I don't know if
yeah, does
Miami
Miami
has
have
any
any
vision.
idea? I think
No, there's a
no
control
hop.
word in the back of the pit.
Yeah.
So Miami's blind to
Oh,
put the
but the
hot
hot
shot.
shot is going to reveal it. But, you know, this Baron's burning down quick. Can they do anything
Yeah,
about
the
it?
Trundle and the Jinx combo just burned. This Enchanted Crystal arrow completely misses.
They don't have time.
HBTX flashes out. The Xenoblade comes
The
down.
3v5.
The knockup from the Braun coming in, and it's looking doomed for Miami.
This could be game. Miami deciding to fight before like 2 of their members were missing. Really confusing decision.
They are going to find the tower. They are going to push forward onto Mikey J. The zap coming in,
Jinx is
slowing them.
unleashed.
The Super Mega Death Rocket is going to make Dewan almost going down, but is able to just get out of that. While Trundle's on the bot side of the map, just taking the towers. Still going to fight. Mikey J's taking a lot of damage from this Jinx. Is going to be able to find a kill onto the Braum.
Well, like you said, meanwhile Trundle is just pushing in that
Just
bot lane,
pushing
ending
that
the
map.
game. Look at that look at that wave.
With those Baron empowered minions,
This game is over.
It's looking doomed. They
I mean,
have to find a way to deal with this Trundle before it's too late.
Yeah, Beans is going to be up, so maybe they can repel most of this attack. But that was disastrous. Miami panicking there, sending so many of their members in way too early, and just going into a straight death trap. Like, if you're gonna contest, try and catch them on their backs. That's one thing. But you didn't have any of your members, and you just gave them the ability to use that Baron to break your base open. And now it's just kind of a disaster.
Right, and we saw as HBTX was walking up to that Baron pit, we saw the Hawk Shot get some vision for Miami University, but instead of flashing into the pit trying to steal, HBTX flashed away but then got CC'd up, and that led to a devastating fight for us.
Yeah, we saw a crazy long cease and desist by the Vi, just catching out that you know, the NTSP there. It was, and it just seemed so disjointed. Like Miami wasn't sure. Do we try and commit? Do we try and fight? Really, I think it would have been better if they just gave the Baron at that point. They were late to the move. They didn't have the information. Unfortunately, was just not able to do anything about that. Now, Beans might be
Yeah, but
caught
Miami
here.
can look for a look on to that Jinx with the cleanse down. They could be able to CC her up and take her out.
But even then, you have so many threats. I mean, the Syndra
Right.
is starting to scale up. Vi get into that back line, and Trundle, obviously.
If you take a look at the gold leads too, you can see that Jinx is 4,000 gold ahead of that Ashe.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just a 0 to hero story. Another brawl here in the top lane, but now with the port completed, Mikey J, you know, he has...
The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to miss. Cactus Chicken is going to pop the W, run away, pop
Look
it,
at that.
go back and turn it onto Mikey J. Is healing up a ton.
He's never heard of Grievous.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what that is, actually. Vi looking here. Yeah. Trundle just pushing these Baron and power waves. They still have a little bit of Baron timer left. Not really going to find a ton yet. And
he's going to fight again, but Jinx is going to be able to find that mid inhibitor turret. Is going to find the mid inhibitor. She's excited, but isn't going to use that to push forward. They are just going to back out.
Miami, yeah, just slowly bleeding here. Giving a lot. It's not like they have much choice. I mean, the Baron minions were pushing into their base, and Trundle, you know, you could send 3 members after him. He's either gonna win or he's gonna buy time. Either way, it's a win for University of Washington.
And we see the University of Washington just in the jungle, taking away all the camps, prohibiting them from getting even just a little bit of gold.
Yeah, yeah, they're really making sure that this map is kind of, all the resources are sucked out, so Miami doesn't really have any way back into this game, and really now it's just kind of a waiting game to see when University of Washington is going to pull the trigger and decide, All right, it's time to wrap this one up.
Yeah, and the mortal reminder comes through for the Jinx too. So that's gonna stop a lot of the healing from Mikey J, and it's gonna cut through a lot of that armor that he has too with the Thorn Mail.
Yeah, I mean, ever since the change to Lord Dominic's regards, now people just opt to go for Mortal Reminder. It gives you similar stats, and additionally, the Grievous there. A lot of vision going to be exposed there, but really not much
They might
HBTX can
engage onto
do.
HBTX. They see him on the ward. Go on, deciding if he wants to go in. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow from NTSP is going to find him. Just going to walk in. Mikey J just being a Giga Chad Mundo as he does, but is going to be
Immediately
CC'd up
dead.
and immediately popped. Jinx is excited. Is going to pop the Super Mega Death Rocket. The Braum in the front line is getting a lot of damage taken, and he is going to go down. Wow, what a weird.
Ooh,
And of
and
course,
of
you see
course,
this Trundle
Trundle's ending the
pushing on the
game.
top lane.
Yeah. Uh, Despite that play being pretty great from Miami, a pretty good angle, despite the Jinx getting excited, really, they lose the Chemtech Drake, they lose an inhib, and that's triple inhib, I
Yeah,
believe. Or is that still one
it's
other?
triple. It's triple.
It is
Yeah.
triple. Yeah, so that's going to make it nearly impossible for Miami to really contest anything on the map. I mean, that fight, the only reason they were able to take it is really because it was such in close proximity to their base, and it was while it was a good angle, Trundle wasn't even there.
Right.
Like that was, I mean, it is still Mikey J running into the entire enemy team saying, "Please let us get something," and they got one member.
And it's so hard for Ashe to get any damage onto that backline with the Braum just with the shield up, soaking up so much damage. And you even saw Mikey
Yeah.
J tried to just run in to attack the Jinx and to attack the Syndra, but he immediately got hit with the Scatter the Weak and popped like
Yeah, I
a
mean, and then
weasel.
you give that get excited to Jinx, and she's such more of a threat in these fights. So Mikey J, I don't know if that strategy is going to be too great moving forward. I think, but
Yeah, and it looks like Miami
yeah.
University is just going to have to play a game of defense with Washington just having full control of this jungle, full control of the map. It's going to be hard to stop them from taking this game.
And Trundle is just going back at it again, just hitting, and
Sneaky Baron.
yeah, I mean, I don't even know if it's sneaky at this point. Not
Yeah.
much that Miami can do to contest this. If they mess this one up, it could just be curtains. And Trundle is just hitting the inhib.
The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to miss. A huge fight onto the Baron Pit. The Super Mega Death Rocket misses until player comes down, but they just get immediately popped. Beans and HBTX.
Trundle
Cactus Chicken
1v2ing.
going to
This
look.
guy's a monster.
Oh my
Look at him
gosh.
go.
Cactus Chicken is just going to chase down Mikey J, but retreat a little bit. But I think they might be able to end the game here with those Baron empowered minions.
Yeah, all sides of the fight. Miami looking kind of outclassed. I mean, they just kind of had another desperate attempt at stopping that Baron, and it is going to cause them to lose that game.
Yeah.
University of Washington equalized the series at 1-1.
Wow. Those
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
those last couple of minutes were rough.
yeah, I mean, Miami did have me optimistic. I'm like, wow, this Trundle has died twice, completely on his own volition, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's Trundle. It's
Right.
not gonna matter.
Right.
And look what happened. I mean, he provided so much value, got so fed in these side lanes, just
Mhm.
picking up gold, picking up minions, and was just had no answer for him. Any team fight, any kind of win, any kind of ground that Miami was able to take, it was. Oh, we got a replay here.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
replay on the bot side with Cactus Chicken fighting Mikey J. You can see he's just huge damage. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow that knocked up, or stunned Koala rather. They're able to get the kill off of this one.
Yeah, one of the few times where Miami was like, okay, well, we found something, but like I was saying, I think that any ground that they found, any momentum that they were able to accumulate in that game was immediately offset by we pan over and
Hmm.
Trundle was taking something else on the map. So I think we are gonna go into draft relatively soon. But yeah, I think they gotta do something to address that kind of split pushing nature.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't think I'm letting that Trundle through in that
no,
next game. Because, I mean,
yeah,
the healing was absurd. You saw, like, they were trading back and forth, but then if they didn't kill each other, they just run away,
yeah.
heal up, and
With the
go back
bramble,
to
I
it.
mean, and despite the fact that Mundo I think is incredibly useful, I think it was clear that the Trundle provided so much more value with the damage he was doing to turrets, and he literally did not know what the word Grievous meant.
Right.
Like that there was Thornmail, there was everything built that game. He pressed one button on the Ravenous Hydra and got his entire HP bar back, and was just back to pushing 1v3ing at the end of the game. Like there was nothing they could do.
Yeah, I think that Trundle was the biggest problem for Miami University, so
We're
hopefully
here
they can address
back
it.
on the Rift. Look at us. got this cool setup, and we are gonna be hopping into draft. Look at that uh, over here somewhere near my co-caster's head here. We got the Nexus. Hopefully that doesn't go boom.
Oh, it's hard to
I
say.
think that's the Nexus. It might be an inhib. No, I'm pretty sure it's a Nexus.
Yeah, 'cause I got the turrets behind my shoulder right here.
Ooh, watch out. They did recently change the animations on the turrets to now see when it's ramping up to do more damage. I'm a
Oh,
big
I
fan of
actually
that.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I like that. It so the actual turret shot that goes out gets a lot bigger.
I miss the old turrets when they were lasers instead of
Oh yeah,
shots,
like
and
the
you can see the laser
okay.
intensifying.
We do
Oh,
see Bix. We do see the early prioritization of the Jin. It looks like.
and Washington's gonna stick with those same three bands of the Jax, the Karthus, and the Shaco.
Yeah, seems like. I mean, it worked pretty well for them, really well for them last game to not have. I mean, despite HGBX getting the brand and having pretty good damage output that game, wasn't really a make or break for them.
And oddly enough, Miami University has opted to ban that Ash, basically saying we don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, they're denying it. I think it really wasn't huge last game in terms of providing a ton of value. I mean, you did get the hawk shots to help them on the Baron, but they just ended up dying anyway.
I do like the Cinder ban from Miami University too. I mean, you faced that 2 games in a row. You could see the value that it was giving that team of Washington.
Yeah, seems like an
Yeah.
incredible amount of comfort that they have when playing that. Still, the Jin being hovered here, I imagine it will be locked in. Um, Miami not, they're kind of self banning. We still got those two mid lane bans, and I think that's Jin locked in, but I'm not entirely sure. Still sitting on that one.
I hope it is a Jin locked in because I myself am a big Jin enjoyer.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Oh,
not exactly.
we got a
Okay.
whole lot of shakeups. It looks like the
Yeah.
Jinx has been locked in again alongside the Kazakhs for Washington, while the Smolder and the Belveth have been locked in for Miami University.
Yeah, so I have mixed feelings about the Smolder because I think while it is an incredible pick that can give you some insurance in the late game, even if you feel a bit more like okay, I'm kind of under threat here. I need a way to be relevant in this late
hmm
game. It needs to be piloted by someone that is incredibly careful, and we haven't seen that level of being able to play back, to be able to play team fight safely, to extrapolate the max amount of value from a champion.
Right.
I mean, while NTSP had an amazing game one, where we didn't get to see most of it,
hmm
but we have to assume that because he didn't die at all. I think I'm still a little worried. Good peel to have with the Leona, the Belveth, another pick that I think is a great comfort pick for HBTX.
It looks like
Um,
both teams are opting for comfort here. We know that Teacuppers is a big Rel player. We know that Dewan loves that Kha'Zix. HBTX does like playing that Belveth, and again, Beans is going to be put on Leona duty for this match.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Leona's just gonna be keep keep popping up, and I think it's a little bit dangerous to give the Jinx, just considering that it was a pretty stellar performance, very good at neutralizing. I think part of the reason it was so effective, honestly though, was just that Braum. Like I feel
hmm
like the Braum having a Rel is gonna make it hopefully a bit easier for the side of Miami to follow up on a lot of those engages because I mean, the Braum value is just immense. Like
Right.
you could really see. I mean, I called it out in draft. This is gonna almost neutralize a lot of Miami's ability to do anything in these team fights,
Now,
and even in
do
just in lane.
keep in mind that that Smolder is a potential flex as well to the mid lane.
Yeah, we could see it flex mid. I don't imagine that will be the case because I mean it could be, but I don't know. I feel like I haven't seen a lot of that. That doesn't really fit.
Into the
Um,
scheme of things,
yeah,
yeah.
Quaker's style as well as more of like a mage type player, control mage.
But we do see the bans for the Trundle and the Hui coming out for Miami University. Do love the Trundle
Yeah,
ban.
we needed that out of here. I think
And
it
Washington is going to ban the Oriana and the Mundo.
I imagine that it will be some type of AP locked in the mid lane, some mage, and we'll see maybe like a tank to round things out. But I'm curious to see now that the Trundle is banned, and we didn't really see an amazing performance. We do see the Nico hovered. That is something that I love casting personally. Love Nico because her ult just has so much potential to just have something fun
Yeah,
happen.
and Miami is going full comfort here. Queggert's going to lock in that Anivia.
I love that. I mean, I've seen Quagerts of Anivia for for a while now, and I think that this is just by far, it, besides the Oriana, his best champ. Like he looks phenomenal every time, and
The
it gives you such
Orn.
great wave clear as well. Orn, yeah, like I said, tank round out this thing or round out this comp gives great scaling options. Yumi being hovered, wonder if that's going to be locked in.
That
Great pick
has.
here.
Oh, I don't know if I like the Yumi here or
Love the
not.
Yumi. I think it's great. I think lock Yumi top, and I think you're good to go into an Orn. But no, Ornn gives that enemy team some great element of scaling, but it is going to be the Gwen hovered. Gwen is
I do
incredibly
like the
strong.
yeah, the Gwen into
Yeah.
Ornn is going to be huge. Getting all that true damage with the Q or the Fiora true
Ooh,
damage onto the
shout
Ornn.
out to Final Boss of Ohio, one of his most played champs. Like I mean, similar to Gwen, very strong into that tanky top lane,
Hmm.
giving you a lot of side lane threat, similar to what we saw with the Trundle, where you can just kind of split push to end the game, and you have a lot of ability to take control in the 1v1, which we saw already that Mikey J seemed to be very comfortable in.
Yeah, if I'm NTSP here too, I'm focusing a lot on just finding those sneezes onto the enemy team, trying to
Yeah,
build up my stacks for my
yeah.
ability so I can get to that 225 as fast as possible for those executes in the team fight.
If I'm NTSP, you're not seeing me until I got at
Exactly,
least
exactly.
125 stacks. I'm gonna be like, all right, peace, and I'm just gonna take off, farm my waves. But we'll see. I need to see if Miami's has the self control to be
Hmm.
really be able to play it safe and to make sure that they can take this comp that they have, an amazing comp, and really get the most value out of it.
Yeah.
Because the only way that I see Miami really just getting, you know, shut out by this is if they just really play it greedy early
Hmm.
game. They don't acknowledge, hey, we have these champions that really just take off and into the stratosphere. Um,
Right.
yeah, I'm curious to see what they would do.
Yeah, I'm also looking out for Washington. The ult stack from the Ornn, the Nico from the Rel with the Magnet Storm. If
Yes.
you're in the jungle, don't have vision, they could
Mm.
just pop everyone on that team in just one go.
Yeah, the team fight is immense, but we will make sure to bring you guys those epic spectacles, and hopefully this game three is a banger. We'll be right back.
Miami Esports, a newly birthed nation, ripe with a population of gamers filled with passion and ambition. Once the great nation was established, a competition was proposed, one that would crown the greatest of them all, and would finally rise a leader of this great nation. When one rose to the top, the citizens were grateful to have a king to look up to. But quickly that gratefulness turned to anguish. The new leader brought chaos and despair to the once great land, breaking the balance and tranquility of their beginnings. It has come time for the competition that started these dark ages to again begin. Will you be the one to rise to the top? Or will the king remain on the throne to terrorize once again?
Boom, what up? We're back into it again with the delay. Miami up, 3 kills. We didn't see any of that.
Immediately coming in with NTSB on the brink of death here.
Yeah, it's oh.
Oh! He's gonna take the kill.
And Kha'Zix goes horror like the blocks in Mario. And Nico getting that huge wave crash. NTSB is going to be sad that he missed that
I'm
one.
not sure what NTSB was doing there, just
And
delaying the
yeah.
inevitable.
Attempt to cancel the recall. He really wanted that wave, but he is going to pay the price. Nico backing with a kill.
He is going back to lane with a CLOL in hand.
And it looks like early leads on the Bel'Veth here. Both junglers catching some kills early, which is going to benefit them. Both in the late game. We got two Void creatures here. The Void matchup. Smolder getting those stacks in. 24 CS. Looks like we had kind of like a lane swap. Or like the makings of a lane swap. I don't really know. We didn't see it.
Xenoblade is going to miss. NTSB just a couple autos traded here. Nothing really too much going to happen, but Dewan is going to come up onto Mikey J in this top lane. The riposte is not going to find anything. Mikey J is all fine in the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, the parry was, enough of a turn to get him out there. Shattering Strike going to go wide, and NTSP is just trying to farm up. Looks like they're going to make their way up towards that dragon, trying to get
Bel'Veth
that.
has started up the Drake.
Really good tangling barbs there onto the Anivia. No passive up, so no second chances if there's anything that goes wrong.
Looks like Miami's just going to take this Drake, no problem. Early Chemtech Drake for the team. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I mean, we do want to highlight that the grubs for Bel'Veth is something that's kind of important because it does give her access to her empowered form, so she's not going to be there for that.
Yeah, we can see Kha'Zix is taking those grubs as we speak.
Yeah, given Miami's team comp, I would have thought that they would have opted to go for the grubs just because of the Fiora and the value that they're going to get from that. But really,
that Fiora has a huge lead on that Ornn. You see the 27 to 56 CS.
You see the lane counter ability. Yeah, the counter pick there. Ooh, a pretty good trade,
the
though.
Wall. Going to call the Forge God, is going to find the Grand Challenge coming out. Mikey J is going to try to proc those vitals. Ooh. Good positioning by Cactus Chicken, so she couldn't get that last one.
Standing against the wall, the oldest counter in the book against Fiora. Not going to be able to turn that one.
You can see both junglers have also pathed up to that top lane. We might see a little skirmish coming out here. HBTX is going to just face check that brush. Huge claw going to come out from the Kha'Zix.
Yeah, the ice
forced to back off.
The isolated damage is a bit funny there. At you all over that wave, I think.
It looks like that Dewan is going to move into Bel'Veth's jungle. Is just going to deny some of that farm.
Take that chunk and turn it into an invade. And Quagert, none the wiser. Looks like they're just going to get that for free. NTSP still farming down here, trying to get that Q empowered. Beans just zoning.
Little zaps off the wave. Beans. Just a little bit of chip damage here and there.
Bel'Veth making her way back into the bot side. Pretty calm game right now.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that hold on.
Huge Brambling Root onto Quagert. He does have the ult or the passive still, so
Quagert, buddy,
isn't too scary.
We got to
right
count
now.
minions. It's our job. Oh,
canceled
beautiful.
the ult with the wave.
Frostbite.
Little interesting canceling the Glacial Storm immediately, but NTSP is just going to flap away from that one.
That is what he does. And a counter invade here by HBTX. Looking like
take the red buff. Yeah.
Oh, but they have vision.
Teacuppers.
They're suspicious. Oh, then
they
don't have vision.
just running through, seeing if anything. Quagert's getting really low. The voice spike is going to find Quasar, but the rebirth is going to come through. I don't think Quagert's going to go down. But HBTX in a bad position. The Shattering Strike misses. The Pop Blossom comes through. It hits up the HBTX and the Beans. Beans doesn't really have anywhere to run. Looks like she's going to go down as well to this Kha'Zix.
Ooh, that was really tough. You saw the Super Mega Death Rocket coming through, but really, unfortunately, because Quaker was taken down into the egg, there was no one stopping the mid from, or Koala from the Masterful Rotate. Pretty easy play there to pick up 2 kills.
Yeah, Quagert's still hanging around this mid. The Call of Forge God from Cactus Chicken is going to come out. The Grand Challenge is going to, the riposte is going to deny that the R back, the knockup. Mikey forced the flash. The auto from Cactus Chicken is
Ooh,
going to take out Mikey J. Solo
great.
kill for the Ornn.
What a play. You don't really see that too often in this matchup, which makes it a little sad.
Yeah.
But
League of Tanks, baby.
no,
League of
no,
Tanks.
honestly, I mean it's really well played there from Cactus Chicken, knowing the damage thresholds and knowing when to all in and playing it pretty close to the wire there.
Quaker just taking a turret shot. A
That's
little
right.
bit
You know, you
interesting.
got to do that sometimes.
But we
Flap-
see Dewan backing. Is going to get the hubris. The zap is going to come out onto NTSP. Is going to get rooted up. Mob comes through. Is going to find the cleanse from the Zenith or the Solar Flare. Teleport is coming through from, I believe, Koala or the Ornn. It is going to be Koala. They are going to look on NTSP. The Shattering Strike is going to find the Super Mega Death Rocket. Is going to come through. It's a kill for the Jinx.
Yeah, Super Mecha Death Rocket finds its mark. Really great tempo, great TP. Quaker is gonna be
Here
able to hit
comes
the
the
tower.
one.
Just
Sweeper comes out. It's not looking too good. Oh, huge damage coming through. The stun onto the Howard Q. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not looking good for Quaker. Another kill going on to Dewan.
and just when you think you might have had a little bit of an opportunity to get some plates, farm up a bit because of the roam, you're looking. This is my bot lane.
Yeah, and Mikey just back up to Cactus Chicken, slapping him with a couple of hits from that sword, but not really finding anything. The Void Grubs have spawned on this top lane, and it looks like Mikey J might try to get a little bit of vision down, but we also do see the Rel pathing up there.
Mikey J might be in some trouble
But
here.
it was the Nico in disguise. Mikey J is just going to walk that one off.
Yeah, and really, Mikey J, unfortunately, despite having this counter matchup here, not really being able to make much happen. In fact, being solo killed by the meatball, and it is kind of a horror. I mean, all the places where
Oh,
you'd
the
expect
Ornn.
Miami to be ahead.
Mikey J is getting low. Call of the Forge God coming down through. Is going to get the block, is going to get the stun from the Repose. And hopefully Mikey J can walk away from that one.
Oh, still really dicey. Miami gonna pick up their second drink of the game, but NTSP might pay his life for
The
it.
Magnus Sword coming out, the Shattering Strike along with the Chompers and the Zap. There was nowhere to go on that one. It's another kill for that Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a nightmare because you're not able to stack at all as NTSP. You have to play back. You have to realize that your support is doing other things, getting chores done on the other side of the map. Well, in the Drake pit, and Quaker really, almost got minion again.
Back to NTSP coming out of the Quaker with the Glacial Storm. Is just going to clear out some of those waves. Koala's looking for the Pop Blossom. Is going to find it. Is going to get the Q down. Going to miss the Brambling route. Gets the stun. HBTX comes through and is able to find the kill onto Koala.
Preemptive barrier really great there from Quaker. He's got his empowered
gonna
form.
dash under
Kha'Zix
the
could
wall.
be caught here.
Looks like
Never mind.
HBTX is just going to run away from that one. But we do see that Ornn has bought the plated steel caps. Is going to negate a lot of damage coming out from that Fiora.
Yeah, Fiora going to be knocked up again. It's looking not great. I don't even think you can win this.
Oh, the Great Repose is going to get that auto with the passive from Ornn. If I'm Mikey J, I'm running away.
Yeah, honestly, this grand challenge is more like a grand forfeit. Like, I'm just, you're not in a point where you can win that anymore. Like, this Ornn is accelerated, and look at him.
Mikey J just still sticking around, really low health under tower. Is going to find the knockup, is going to find the breath, and is going to find the kill onto Mikey J.
And the emote. Oh,
you
that's
hate to
gotta
see
hurt.
it.
You know, and Micah J at this point in the game, so far behind into an Ornn who's just going to keep getting stronger, keep getting chunkier.
And speaking of behind, NTSP is stuck at level 7 while Sabak on that Jinx is level 9 already.
Yeah, Jinx getting incredible amounts of XP and acceleration from the way that just the XP has been distributed. And NTSP just kind of stuck under this tower, taking this poke, not really able to get those dragon training stacks in.
Quaker going for another trade, isn't going to find anything, but it is important to note that Washington was able to secure all 6 grubs in this match. So their turret taking abilities they just skyrocketed.
Yeah, this Jinx is going to do numbers on these turrets, and really the avenues for Miami back into this game are just looking, you know, darker and darker. Beans peeking, but I don't really know if they can
He's going
do
to find
anything.
the Shattering Strike, is onto Beans. The Zap is going to come through. Beans walking forward, NTSP, go to call Mom. Oh, it just doesn't have the damage, and that Jinx is going to destroy that Leona. The Call of the Forge God coming through on the top side. Belveth bundled into the mixture. Dewan finds the kill onto the Fiora, but we have a teleport going into the bot lane. Jinx is going to keep autoing and is going to find the kill onto NTSP. Quaker roams down, is able to find the stun. It's kind of a messy fight here.
Yeah, Miami just, you know, we thought we had an angle.
With the Pop Blossom coming through, HBTX, they are going to find the kill on to the Sabak, which is going to mitigate a lot of the damage. And it's huge kills. 3 kills
That
for
was
Quaker.
a triple. Quaker with a masterful roam there. Great timing. Catches the TP and uses the wall beautifully to lock them all down as they're on their way out from having overall a really great play on the bot side. It looked great, but the Herald is going to be taken by University of Washington with those 6 grubs. A million little Void Mites are going to pop out as soon as they drop that. Hopefully they don't drop it in the base this time.
Yeah, and even though Quaker was able to find 3 in that last fight, Cactus Chicken was just able to take that tower. Dewan was able to take that the Rift Herald. And it's just kind of looking doomed on the top side. And we see Mikey J trying to find a fight onto Cactus Chicken, but
Is
he's
this
just
gonna-
losing hard.
This is going to be another solo kill. I think it could, very well could be.
Some action going on the bot lane too. HBTX is going to go onto that Jinx, I think it is. Finding a tower, is looking for a dive. Quaker is going, Dewan finding a kill onto Mikey J. Little dive going onto the Jinx in the bot side. Going to be another kill going in for Quaker.
Trade on the map, but I think honestly Miami is really kind of still floundering despite that great play from Quaker. I mean, they are going to pick up hopefully this tower here.
But the Rift Tower has been popped on the top lane with that Ornn there as well.
That's just going to be just shy. I think they might even be able to pick up the inner here. That's going to be great gold for that Ornn, just accelerating him, making him tankier and tankier. Look at this, the 6 grubs doing so much work.
Beans doing
here.
a little bit of zoning. Belvat's still pushing out that wave on the bot lane, but you can see that Kha'Zix just backed, got the Yomu's Ghost Blade, is looking really big.
Yeah, Kha'Zix, I mean, I noticed, I blinked and the Fiora died. So
Yeah, a little skirmish here fighting in the jungle, but man, that Kha'Zix is just way too powerful for anybody to solo right now.
8-1 with the hubris,
23 hubris
feeling
stacks.
greedy.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, Miami is really going to need a couple more of those plays like they had bot side with Quaker. I mean, I don't know what we're looking at with Smolder right now, but 0-4, I don't see him being a big boy dragon anytime soon.
Yeah, and he only has 124 stacks. He just got 125.
That's something.
That's the first checkpoint that you want to see, but at 16 minutes, he's feeling really behind.
Yeah, normally you want to see it at a higher level of play, like 20, 22 minutes,
Right,
25
right.
at the very latest. But like at this point, you know, University of Washington is just accumulating a lead and getting gold in all the right places. Like Ornn having gold, Ornn having stats. He's just going to make your team even stronger as it comes to late game. As soon as he hits, I think he's just shy of level 13. As soon as he hits level 13, he's going to be starting to upgrade these items. And it's just going to be that much harder for Miami to find a way back into the game.
Yeah, and this Kha'Zix is a huge problem. We got the Tango Root on to Beans, a teleport coming through from the Anivia. And we have a little skirmish again on the top side.
Not much coming out from that. The TP was used there by the Anivia, not finding its mark though. Really just more NTSP farming mid lane, gun at -1.
Ooh, that you don't want to see that missed cannon minion
On
there.
Smolder, it hurts even more.
Oh, yeah.
And another invade here. Really just taking Miami for everything they have.
Gonna find the College of the Forge God is coming out. We have 3 members coming up from Washington, and Mikey J doesn't stand a chance.
I think Kha'Zix has the number of this Fiora. Like I think he's just he's like,
out for
hey,
blood."
you up? Yeah, like like let's chat a little. What's your snap? You know, you know, he's talking about that, and he's just been in top lane, perma, and like this Fiora is like about to. I mean, she's colorblind. She's seeing gray. Like,
Right.
yeah, I mean that's. I mean, she's spent most of this game dead.
But as I
So-
was saying earlier, 9-1 on that Kha'Zix, 700 gold bounty, 25 stacks on the Hubris with the Yomus. Those isolated Qs, those isolated Ws, man, that's a lot of damage that you don't want coming your way.
Yeah, to quote a great man, Phil Swift, that is a lot of damage.
Yes,
and
sir.
Not something that Flex Tape can heal, unfortunately. So yeah, I think that it just feels like an inevitability at this point that University of Washington just can close this one out. I mean, and you'll see. I mean, each member of their squad is really showing up this game well with some great engages. Jinx with consistency and obviously no words need to be said for the top jungle.
Right, and I just want to look at some items here. Belveth has gotten the Hull Breaker alongside the Blade of the Ruin King, while the Smolder has finally completed the Spear of Shojin.
And I've seen this build path on Rek'Sai as well as Belveth, the Hullbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, not a huge fan of it, especially in a game state like this.
Right.
I think it's less of an effective item.
There's also a huge auto coming out from Sabak.
Yeah, I don't know. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to watch.
NTSP's playing on the back foot here, 0-4 compared to this 3-3 Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx. I mean, it's just gonna continue just scaling with the rest of the team. Rel obviously gonna provide those value in team fights. And really, my eyes are really only on the Smolder / Anivia. I don't really think that, I mean, the Belveth can pop off in fights, but you need those resets. Beans fishing here, looking to see if
University of Washington just playing around this Baron, not really too sure what they're doing, but Beans is going to back off. We have 5 members of Washington coming in through here. The College of the Forge God is going to come through, is going to find a kill. Mom comes through onto the team, but NTSP is too little, too late.
yeah, and that could be Baron.
Oh, the zap's going to come through, is going to barely miss NTSP. He is going to be able to walk away from this one, but that's a Baron angle for the University of Washington.
Yeah, I mean, they were just playing around that vision, that control work that they had on Baron Pit, waiting for Beans or someone to step up and just like take the bait, the bait, and then they did, and they chased them, and they got the damage they needed to dissuade or basically make it impossible for Miami to contest that Baron. And, you know, we see Mikey J in the sidelines, but this is the side lanes, but this is not like that Trundle we were seeing. He's not getting much.
Yeah. And that's a 20-minute Baron, too, for the University of Washington.
Yeah,
that is
Spawn.
something you never want to see.
Yeah, it's looking like the game is a
Solar
little
Flare
bit.
is going to come down for the mid lane, not going to find anybody. NTSP is going to sneeze a little bit, get one more stack. The teleport is coming through from Koala. Maybe looking for a flank. The Magnet Storm coming through on the bottom of your screen. They're just going to CC them up. NTSP gets a kill. The Pop Blossom comes through. Huge ult onto the team of Miami University. Huge damage coming through. Dewan's hopping through. Huge isolated Q onto Beans. NTSP sneezing, not doing much. Kill going onto Beans. And it's just doomed. The rebirth from Quaker coming out. NTSP is able to run away. But that's a 4-0 fight. A 5-0 fight for University of Washington.
Man, and that was just, you look at that engage, beautifully played by the Rel. Like like I said, every member of University of Washington finding their purpose, and it just so perfectly put on display. The Pop Blossom Proto Belt, amazing,
Devastating combo.
yeah, and really just like we had the Kazakhs hopping around. Everyone did exactly what they needed to do in order to completely neutralize that flank angle and punish Miami University for even thinking they could take a fight.
Right, and Dewan's 11-1-2 now, and I just saw that he got his Ornn upgraded item as well. That Yomu's is a little bit upgraded, and he also has the armor shred from the bow.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, I think Jinx is next on the menu. She's going to get that upgrade.
Oh, yeah.
And it is going to be something to behold. Now Ornn able to it used to be only certain items he could upgrade, but I believe now just whatever item you have first in your hop war, every item can be upgraded. And I mean, that spells doom for the side of Miami.
The reset on the chicken.
Oh, it's just
too.
insult to injury.
Man, this is a really tough state for Miami University. Ornn did complete the Thorn Mail, so is going to have a little bit of extra tankiness and is going to mitigate a lot of those healing from the Ravenous Hydra of the Fiora.
Yeah, and speaking of Fiora, if I was Fiora this game, I'd be listening to like Payphone by like Maroon 5, just like side laning, you know, like, you know what, good luck team. Like, you know, at this point, you're just kind of like, well.
Yeah, what are you going to do in a team fight, so to speak?
You're going to press, you know.
Oh, they're going to look for a fight onto HBTX. It's not going to be much of a fight. The isolated Q taking almost half the health. Oh, the leap, the void spikes. That's another kill for the Kazakhs. Call of the Forge God is going to come through. The Solar Flare is going to deny the knock-up.
The Ornn's taking damage, guys.
Oh, wait,
he
is
is
going to get knocked up. The Super Mega Death Rocket is going to come through, and that's another kill for that Kazakhs. He's everywhere.
I know. This guy is non-stop, just moving through, getting those cleanups, getting those slice and dices. And we do see Mikey J taking an inner.
Are we sure Pitbull's not playing Kazakhs right now? Because he's Mr. Worldwide right now.
He's everywhere. Mikey J is panning up like, I don't know if I want to watch that. But, you know, he is getting that inner. That's something. We're going to see Mom being called on this wave. Going to stop the push a little bit,
You hate
but
to see Mom being used to clear the wave, but CLOL is just going to be free firing on this turret. Is going to root
yeah.
up NTSP, but I don't think they have any chance at fighting
No,
this.
I don't even know if NTSP is like, I think he's close, but at the same time, I think Smolder's mom is going to want to call the manager or something like that because this is just a disaster. I think I feel very similar to the second game where we're just kind of in a point where we're waiting
Right.
for it to just be the breaking point where Miami is, you know, unfortunately laid to rest.
Yeah, and we saw a couple fights ago. I mean, Beans is on the back foot, only has the Warmog's armor, doesn't have a lot of resistances, and we saw that Kha'Zix do half a health bar with a single Q.
Yeah, I mean he's unleashed. He has the Ornn upgraded item. He has the hubris is massive. I mean, this guy's I don't see this guy dying anytime soon
Yeah, we have
unless he's crazy
37
bursted.
stacks on the Hubris. The Smolder with one minion is going to get that 226. Smolder is fully stacked up. Mikey J,
He's celebrating.
little out of position, is going to find the knockup onto Dewan. The Call of the Forge God from the Ornn is going to come out. The knockup is going to find Beans, is going to get knocked up, even bigger with that wall charge. But over the wall, oh my gosh.
Oh, so we see Beans with the ult, NTSP getting picks, and we got the true damage from the Bel'Veth ult, dashing through the fight here. Beans is trying to follow up, but cannot match. Quaker almost one shot from that Nico E. NTSP still playing beautiful
Huge Magnet
engage.
Storm coming through. The Shattering Strike is going to stun up three of them, but got stuck under turret. NTSP is going to find the execute onto the Rel with the Super Scorcher Breath.
And NTSP, that upgrade could not have come at a better time because that is, I'm telling you, the only reason why that was close. And we saw the Rel trying to have that snap engage there. Wasn't enough follow-up. The Kha'Zix could not match, but, you know, it looked cool.
For those of you at home who might not be aware, Smolder can infinitely stack throughout this game. And he's reaching that critical mass point where he can now execute any enemy that he damages.
Yeah, so once they get to a certain percentage point, you'll see when he damages any member of the enemy team that there's a line on the little bar
There'll
on
be
their HP.
a white line.
Yeah, and then once it gets down to that line, they are just immediately taken out. But Smolder has to be alive for this to happen and he needs to be doing damage. So it's very important that he plays it very safe so that he can get the maximum value out of this ability because that's the whole point of playing this champion. You're weak for 90% of the game until you get to this breaking point where you can kind of play fights. But honestly, it still looked really tough for Miami to find an angle into that. And I think, you know, University of Washington, if I were them, I'd just be looking to play for an objective, play for Baron, play for something, and really not give Miami any ability.
The Kha'Zix is going to jump onto HBTX, is going to be able to take him out. Mom comes through, heals NTSP up a little bit. Call of the Forge God coming through. Teleport from Mikey is going to get the Pop Blossom, comes through. And this is just a mess of a fight. Sabok's going to find a kill onto Quagert. Dewan is leaping. He's resetting. He's finding kills. And that is a 5-for-0 fight for the University of Washington.
And like I said, they were just waiting to end it. That Smolder got popped like a balloon, and it was just curtains. Fist bumps all around. And I think
just
that's
going to charge the base here. Taking out the inhibitor turret is going to take out this inhibitor too. And they might even go for some Nexus turrets.
Yeah, they
here.
got 6 scrubs. I think this game is over. The death timers.
HBTX isn't up for another 4 seconds.
And
this
University of Washington gonna take them down. Say that first game was just a fluke. Miami taken out.
Washington wins in dominant fashion.
Yeah,
man. That Kha'Zix was a huge problem that game from the start.
And I think we just really saw Washington come into their own. You know, like they started off a little bit shaky. You know, we had a little bit of questionable plays near the top lane. And that first game, we didn't get to see much of it, admittedly, but you know, it did feel like it was very back and forth. And we had some of that shakiness prevail, and I think all 3 games and Miami was able to capitalize on some of that inconsistency. But really, when it came down to team fighting, pure macro, pure hands, Washington was able to come out on top.
Right, and that Smolder didn't get to 225 until 27 minutes, so too little, too late. Here we'll take a look at some of our replays. Here's the fight in the bot side that got Quagert a triple kill, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, look at this. So we see
Flashes
Quagert
the
go
zap,
through, yeah.
huge Pop Blossom. Quagert is able to avoid that. the Belveth gets the reset and the frostbite, just huge amount of damage.
Yeah, and when Belveth, similar to Viego, like that champion does get her resets,
Mm,
that's percentage max health through damage in an AoE area. It is going to be huge, and it's slow. It's great, but you need to be in a position where you're actually going to be able to have these messy fights when you're not just being picked off. And that Kha'Zix was just surgically going through like a scalpel and
right.
cutting out each individual member one by one, and it was so difficult for
Yeah.
Miami to get anything going because really it kind of felt like a lot of that time Mikey J was just kind of not on the map. Like, I
Mikey
mean,
J was not having a good time
yeah,
on that
he
Fiora.
was just trying to do as much as he could in a side lane, but really was providing almost no value.
Yeah.
And that's it's just you're put in a place where you have a counter pick and you just aren't able to make much happen.
Yeah, I mean, Cactus Chicken played that pretty well, just hugging the wall, not letting Fiora get those vital procs.
Yeah,
But
and then he just scaled up and he was unkillable. So
yeah,
unfortunate for Miami. I do see signs of life here. I think
I do
Miami
too.
has a
Yeah,
lot of potential, and I'm excited to see what this roster has in store. There, we are looking to see more games, and this
hmm
should be great. This is the CLOL fall warm up, so this is a great intro to what Miami Esports and League of Legends we will have
right.
to
And
show.
they're only going to get better as the year progresses,
Yeah,
as we find out who clicks together, what champions click together.
yeah.
It should be a good time over here.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're happy to present this to you. Less technical difficulties next time.
Oh,
We promise. I hope. Yep. But yeah, this has been Devin, Tiny Bit, and Sayon O'Connor,
Isaac Rhythm Arredondo.
and you have a good night.
Miami Esports, a newly birthed nation, ripe with a population of gamers filled with passion and ambition. Once the great nation was established, a competition was proposed, one that would crown the greatest of them all, and would finally rise a leader of this great nation. When one rose to the top, the citizens were grateful to have a king to look up to. But quickly that gratefulness turned to anguish. The new leader brought chaos and despair to the once great land, breaking the balance and tranquility of their beginnings. It has come time for the competition that started these dark ages to again begin. Will you be the one to rise to the top? Or will the king remain on the throne to terrorize once again?